Hey guys, and welcome to my weekly vlog. This is Seattle weekly vlog number 2. Today is Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday and I didn't do anything really exciting. Just a lot of just getting the house in order, like a crap ton of laundry, like nothing really fun and exciting. But I did want to talk to you guys about some things. I want to start doing more weekly chatty vlogs where I talk directly to you guys about you know, photography or Seattle travel safety stuff, you know, ocean conservation, you know, just important things that I think would be really interesting. So I will be starting to do that. I also bought a bike. I did purchase a bicycle. It's nice. I'm really excited. And I rode it today. I got 6 miles in. I didn't know what today was gonna look like or whatnot, so I didn't film because I wanted to strap on a GoPro to the bike, but I think I'll do that tomorrow. I'm gonna go to Green Lake tomorrow and hopefully bike around it 2 times, which would be kind of close to 6 miles. Today I did 6 miles, but I did a lot of hills, so I know tomorrow is gonna hurt in terms of hills since my knees and legs aren't used to biking uphill like that. So tomorrow I'm gonna take it a little easy and just do 2 laps around a very flat Green Lake. So I will do that tomorrow. I will film that tomorrow. Another thing that I was really looking into over the weekend was getting a kayak. I purchased a kayak in Flagstaff in Arizona, and I would take it out on the little rivers. I would take it out on the lake that I used to kind of live near. So when I moved to Seattle, I strapped the kayak to the top of my car at the time, and I drove up here. And then when I moved into this apartment about a year ago, we were trying to figure out where to put the kayak because there's really no room in here. I also don't want to take a kayak out on the lake and stuff and bring it into the house. When I lived in Arizona, the house I was at had a garage. At my first apartment in Seattle, I had a backyard, so it just stayed outside the whole time, which really isn't that good for the kayak also. But I left the kayak out kind of in my front area, and somebody took it. Somebody stole my kayak. So I have been without a kayak for a year, and this year I really want to get one. I really want to it would be good exercise. It would be very, very good exercise. And I think it'd be really enjoyable in terms of how I'm spending my time. I really want to try and kayak to some islands and to some lighthouses and areas in the Puget Sound and on the lakes. So I've been doing a lot of research in terms of what type of kayak to get. And of course the ones that I want are the ones that would really be necessary for sea kayaking are very long, so they're very cumbersome in terms of storage, and they are a little more expensive, of course. So I've been doing a lot of research in terms of that, and then the next issue is storage and how there really is none. I've been looking for moorage, which is boat rent. It's some of the bays and stuff. Here, let me put you down. Okay, I propped you guys up so I don't have to hold it anymore because my arm is starting to hurt. So moorage is boat rent, so you rent a place to store your boat, and you can't, some of them do have kayak moorage, but a lot of these places, especially since I live in Seattle and it's the summertime, a lot of people are have boats or they're getting out their boats, and so you know, moorage is going to be kind of expensive and have a waiting list. So I thought kayak moorage might be a little easier, but I called 2 or 3 places and they seem to not have any kayak moorage. There's one kayak storage where you kind of put it in a locker, and I'm not sure about that. So I really want to get a kayak, but trying to figure out the one that I want and how to store it is just nonsense. I wish I could just leave it in my yard, you know, then nobody would steal it. But I'm not sure if my landlord would really dig that. I don't even think I'm allowed to leave my bike out there, you know, it really should be in my property. So I spent a lot of time talking about kayaks. There are several different types of kayaks. So you have if you want to sit in them or sit on top of them. I prefer sitting in them. So it's I hope that makes sense. I feel much more secure, and especially since I would be going in colder areas with rougher waters, it's a lot more secure, and you can put a skirt over the opening and you can protect your legs from the weather conditions that you're a part of. Whereas with like, this is why I didn't like paddleboarding or canoeing. Like you're on top of the water and I feel so less balanced on those type of, you know, boats. And those are mainly for like really calm waters when you're like fishing and wanting to take pictures and stuff on like really, really calm waters. And I want to go in the Puget Sound. That's not calm. But I was also trying to figure out like, is the Puget Sound open ocean? You know, like and you know, certain parts probably are closer to open ocean conditions, but I don't really see myself kayaking like on the Washington or Oregon coast. I'm definitely not kayaking on the Oregon coast. The Oregon coast is like super dangerous. It's like really, really rocky, a lot of powerful waves and stuff. You can check out my Oregon coast video that I'm editing right now. I see that people go like surfing at certain beaches in Oregon, and those are like the very like flat sandy beaches, so if they fall it's fine. But the Oregon coast is super, super rocky and super, super powerful. Beautiful, but very aggressive. There's this book I want to get. I saw it in a lighthouse a couple of years ago when we went to a lighthouse, and I should have got it, but it was the lighthouses that saved the Oregon coast, and then there was another one that was the shipwrecks of the Oregon coast, and those look super cool. Maybe I'll try and find those books this week. That might be some interesting, you know, material for this vlog. So yeah, that's kind of just been like on my mind. So, and you know, back to the canoes, like, or back to the kayaks, you can get like the shorter ones. And those are really good for if you're going through like rivers and rapids and creeks and, you know, you're going down little waterfalls and stuff. A little tiny one is good. And then a medium-sized one is good for, you know, lakes and stuff for fishing or, you know, calmer waters. And then the longer your boat is, the better you are at tackling waves and getting across waves and being able to move. You're also faster, which if I were to encounter any sort of wildlife, speed or boats, speed would be like an important factor. I, of course, would love to kayak near the orcas. You have to be at least 200 yards away from the orcas. And when you see those videos of orcas getting really close to the kayakers, hopefully what should have occurred, this is also the same for boats and whale watching boats. I've gone whale watching before. And so what they will do is when they get close enough, they turn off the boat. Because the motor can disturb them and whatnot. So they turn off the boat motor. And then if the whales come closer to you, you know, that's their doing, but you are not supposed to be 200 yards away from them. So when you see those videos of kayakers and people near boats, hopefully it's because they have kind of stood still and the letting the orcas kind of choose where they're going and whatnot. Me, when I see that type of stuff, like I would start backing away. I would start just, you know, giving them as much space as needed. I don't think orcas are going to attack kayakers. I think the biggest danger comes from like accidental interference from the orcas. So like if they breach or if they, you know, hit you or something like that while they're swimming away. But from what I've kind of seen, like orcas are pretty smart. Like I think they know to avoid kayakers, especially in the Puget Sound. There's some like articles and some things talking about how like kayakers are really disturbing the whales and stuff like that, which is sad. So just a reminder, like I think most wildlife is 100 yards, but definitely in Washington and, you know, the ocean area is 200 yards for marine life. So, you know, just respect them. Just respect the animals. It's nuts. So that's where I've been right now. Just a lot of research on boats and bikes and, you know, trying to edit some videos and some photos from, you know, Oregon and whatnot. So it's been a pretty good day. I'm gonna make some dinner, and I'm making it for several days, but some bean vegetarian chili. I am gonna put like cheese and like sour cream on it just because I have that in the house. But I thought I would show you me making dinner. I have some tofu sitting in here, trying to squeeze out some of the moisture. Normally I would chop it up and put it in the freezer and then melt it and that helps really get rid of a lot of the moisture so you don't get mushy tofu when you try and bake it or fry it up. But since this is going in a stew and there's a lot of moisture, and since I also didn't freeze this guy before, I figured just having him drip for a little bit will be good. When I've made chilies before, I don't put the tofu in, but I've just been in like a tofu mood and I just want to try it and see if that'll help like beef it up a little bit. So I've been really in a tofu mood. I love tofu. A couple of months ago, we went to Spice World by Pike Place. It's just this really interesting spice shop. It's huge and you can smell all the different spices. And I smelled this and it is so good. It's alderwood smoked salt and it smells like a beautiful fire. So I used these recently to put on some roasted veggies to give it that like smoky taste. So I'm wondering if it's gonna give it a nice smoky, meaty, beefy flavor in my chili. So I'm gonna add some salt. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I was planning on going bike riding today, but I was just so sore. So I pretty much stayed home, did a couple errands, but I came on here because I wanted to talk about I'm getting into yin yoga and I'm kind of liking it. I've done about 20 minutes for the past 3 days. So that's really good. Yin yoga is more based off of like holding poses for deep stretching, really focusing, or the ones that I've been doing, focusing on like the hips, the hamstring, the glutes, like the lower muscles, because for me those are like very tight and very painful. So I've been doing those and surprisingly like I'll get a little bit of a sweat because you know it's you're holding the pose for several minutes, and it's really just a deep stretch. That's what it is. So if I have enough energy, I'll do that again tonight, to try and do, because I did some this morning and I think I filmed some of it. But another thing that I wanted to chat about was I went to Target because my camera, so I went to Target and Best Buy because my camera battery came in, so I was able to pick that up and I'm really excited for this. I'm curious how much extra battery life it gives to me. I can't find my battery charger for the actual physical battery, so that's a little concerning, so I have to find that. But I picked up some sunscreen because I'm almost out of the sunscreen that I have that I really like. Now I've been liking the Neutrogena sheer. I really like how fast that is and how it doesn't feel greasy for very long. I hate the feeling of sunscreen, and so that's why trying to use like powders and sprays and stuff like that is so important. So I got another spray, but I wanted to get some sunscreen that had ingredients that were ocean safe and not going to affect the ocean. Now my understanding is that like all sunscreens are going to kind of hurt the ocean in a way, but certain ingredients are a lot better than others. There are two main culprits when it comes to coral bleaching and ocean damaging ingredients. I will link those here because I am forgetting them. So I got this one. I've never heard of it. I just was looking at Target, and this is the Bare Republic mineral sunscreen coconut vanilla with SPF 50. I would have got, they had a mango one, like a peach mango. Oh, so good. But it was only SPF 30, but I can dig with some vanilla coconut, especially since it's summertime. So I'm excited to see how this feels. I'm really hoping that it will dry quickly, that it won't be sticky, or, you know, and that it works well. But as you can see here on the label, cruelty-free, vegan, gluten-free. I didn't know sunscreen could have gluten. Recyclable packaging, that's good, and reef-friendly, the important part. So yeah, that looks like some good focus points that I'm really trying to use better products and better packaging. This comes with a little bit of tiny plastic on the top, but I imagine that the rest of this can is recyclable, so that will be good. Another thing that I got that is of interest, I did get some products that aren't really like zero waste, eco-friendly, but I'm trying, I'm learning, it's a lot of information. So I needed to get some dish soap. So I got this one. This one is a biodegradable formula, non-tested on animals, and I guess plant-based because that's cool. The main reason I was looking for a soap that does not have sodium lauryl sulfite, sodium laureth sulfite, any of those very drying surfactants. Now, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a dermatologist, I've just started looking into this stuff. Sodium laureth sulfite is, I guess, that's the SLS, and that is a, see, I get confused with these two. One of them, so I believe this one, sodium lauryl with an L at the end, sulfite, is coconut-based, natural-based. And since it's coconut-based, the idea is that it's not as drying as other like powerful surfactants. Surfactants are in soap and skincare and detergents and stuff, and it helps foam up, it helps to foam up the soap, and it also helps to break down oils and remove oils and waters. So it's part of the soap. I'm trying to avoid it because it is very drying to the skin barrier, and I'm trying not to strip my moisture barrier like that. I also have someone in my household who has really bad eczema, and so we're trying to avoid ingredients that will really strip the moisture barrier, because when the skin is dry, it's open to cracking, opening up, and then that can lead to like infection. So trying to battle eczema, and the one way that I'm trying to go about it, we are also talking to doctors. It's not just me buying certain soaps, but what I'm trying to do is to have products in the house that really maintain moisture. That way it can battle away the dryness. So if there's a lot of moisture in the skin, there's less room for the drying to occur, the cracking and the infection. So I'm trying to stay away from SLSs. I spent like an hour in the grocery store over the weekend reading a bunch of ingredients, and it is pretty confusing, especially since it's very, very new stuff. But I think I kind of got like a good hold on it. I picked up a soap, a shampoo, a laundry detergent with different compounds, because every cleaning agent's gonna have to have a surfactant, because that's what's gonna have you be able to remove the grease and the oils and the dirt. It's just trying to find a less drying surfactant. That is what my goal is. The main reason that I picked this one, because I wasn't very satisfied with the sodium lauryl sulfate. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. But I think the main thing that kind of got me was on here it says, made with 100% consumable, post-consumer plastic. I'm really trying to, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Also, refusing, really trying to focus on being more conscious with my purchases. But like I said, it's a lot to learn about, and every purchase that you make is problematic, which is terrible, this has coconut oil in it and palm kernel oil. Like, is this a sustainable is this part of palm oil? Is this a sustainable palm oil? Is this affecting orangutans? So just trying to make better purchases, but once you start really looking into it and all that stuff, it's kind of hard to not go down the rabbit hole of all these terrible things. But that has been my chatty little check-in for the day. I assure you that on the weekend we're gonna have some exciting things to do, but let me know what you think about these like chattier check-ins. Like I can chat it up if you find that interesting. So I will probably see you guys tomorrow. Good morning vlog. Today is Thursday. I am drinking a green juice because I am attempting to kind of hold back a throat cold that I feel going on, and I really just don't want to deal with being sick. The next couple weekends are gonna be pretty packed since it is summer and everybody wants to get out into the sunshine. I'm trying to get in the habit of like drinking a green juice every day. So I have spinach, an apple, 2 oranges, and some ginger in here. I was trying to use up some of the fruit that I got from Imperfect Produce. I have some like apples and oranges that needed to get eaten, so I figured I would juice those in there. Otherwise I would use like a can of pineapple. I love pineapple. With my oranges though, I should have peeled them because now it's making it like really bitter. So I thought about that. I said, oh, I should peel these and not like crush the lemon peel juice into my juice, but I was being a little lazy. So I'll do that tomorrow to not get that bitterness. So I have a couple goals today. I want to try and keep it simple, that way I get it done. I need to finish editing my Oregon Coast video. I haven't started. I'm 24 seconds into the video, so, and I have over 3 hours of footage. So I want to finish editing this video, do some yin yoga. I tried to do a little this morning, but it was kind of painful, so I'm gonna do just some tomorrow night. I did another 20-minute session of yin yoga before bed, and that felt really nice, so I might get in the habit of doing it as like a part of my nighttime routine, as like a, you know, getting ready for bed type of situation. But I also want to go bike riding today. I woke up and it looked kind of cloudy outside, and it's been this way for the past couple days, like it kind of brightens up later in the day. So maybe after I do a couple hours of editing, I'll go to Green Lake, and I have my GoPro charging so I can show you biking on Green Lake. Okay, let me get to editing. All right, I just finished editing one video out of my 3-day, so like 1 day out of my 3-day Oregon trip, and I'm gonna go for a bike ride. I don't know how I feel about this outfit, pink on pink. Oh well, I'm going to work out, so. I'd figure I would try out the sunscreen that I bought. I actually just did some research yesterday, or watched a video yesterday about sunscreen. This is terrible lighting. There's like terrible lighting in my house. Also, I have to clean my juicer. Clean my kitchen when I get. So, I thought we'd try the sunscreen. So, I recently watched a video by Mixed Makeup where she talks about the differences between chemical and mineral sunscreen. And from what I gather, mineral sunscreen sits on top of you and is kind of thick and gross, and I'm probably gonna hate it. Okay. I was curious yesterday, so I like scritched out a bit of it. I spritzed out a bit of it. I'm such a thing with texture, like, okay, let's try it. Oh, I hate it. Okay, it's not the worst, but, oh, yeah, and then talking about like a white cast. Oh God, I hate this. I hate this so much. Oh, I hate it. And then you have to rub it in. Oh, ew, 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 ooh, I hate it. I hate it. Oh, this sucks. I want to not bleach to the oceans, but I also want to wear sunscreen and not be gross. So I'm gonna try and like rub this in. So my understanding is that as like a brief, quick, I'm not a dermatologist, chemist, whatnot, but the differences between mineral and chemical sunscreens is that mineral sunscreen stands. Okay, my memory card ran out of power. Okay, now that it's dried down and it feels a little better. It feels kind of sticky, but it's not giving me that like, see, I can feel the stick when I like mush my arm together. Anyway, so my understanding is that the basics between, oh, I just hate this part. Oh, it's so thick. Ooh. Oh no, my toaster! Should not have done. Oh my God, I sprayed on too much. Doing this in the kitchen was a bad idea. Okay. So my understanding is that the difference between a chemical and a mineral sunscreen is that a mineral sunscreen sits on top of the skin and reflects UVA and UVB rays. So it's kind of like a mask. Whereas chemical sunscreens sink in to the skin. And what they do is when the skin absorbs the UVA and UVB rays, the chemical sunscreen absorbs those compounds or whatever, and then there's a chemical reaction to kind of counteract them and boost them out or something. My Neutrogena one is just so much better than this. I hate this. But one, I purchased it. It definitely doesn't smell sunscreen-y. Does it smell like vanilla coconut? Like lightly, a little bit. But I'm really, and I get the sprays because I'll wear it because I hate the feeling of it and all that stuff. And bleh. I know, such a baby, but I feel how I feel. So this one says, apply liberally 15 minutes before sun exposure, hold 4 to 6 inches from skin, rub in, do not spray directly on face, spray onto hands, and apply. Spray onto hands and applied. Reapply after 80 minutes of swimming and sweating, immediately towel off, at least every 2 hours. Okay, so 2 hours, that should be good. That should cover me for my little bike ride that I'm going on, but not optimal. But I will use it, but not optimal. And also, I don't recommend using spray sunscreen in your kitchen. That's a mess I will have to clean up later. All right, let's go to Green Lake. I need to get a bike rack. This isn't optimal. Free kayak. Yeah. It's a fin whale. Campfire s'mores, bacon, eggs, and pancakes. The corn one, and then no. Almond brittle with chocolate ganache. Corn, what is it? Cornbread with nettle. And that's kind of the reason we came here, was for corn ice cream, bacon, eggs, and pancake ice cream, and then pop rock filled s'mores chocolate ice cream. Woo!